Welcome to Iyagba's Epic Tales. The title of today's story is The Unknown Side of Dr. Ifunanya. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a woman called Dr. Ifunanya. Dr. Ifunanya was a lady in her mid-40s. She is originally a nurse whose specialty is in nursing, but her warm-hearted and charismatic nature of doing her very best to treat any common medical ailment that plagues members of the village made the villagers refer to her as a doctor. For ailments she could not treat, she would use her car and take the person to the city for proper treatment. Most times, she pays for the person's medical bill if they could not afford to pay their own bill. And if she treats such person herself, she would let the person go without any charge. Her dedication to the well-being of others earned her the love and admiration of the entire village. Dr. Ifunanya is a widow. According to her, she lost her husband and only daughter in a car accident some years back. Whenever she tells her story, the villagers feel pity for her. Why would fate allow such a good woman to go through all this? They would see. Before Dr. Ifunanya, there had been several doctors and nurses who had been sent to the village, but many of them had left months later due to lack of resources and facilities to work with. The village health center was in a bad shape, left unattended to by the government. There was no electricity and good water, nothing to work with. These doctors and nurses ended up using their own personal money to finance the running of the health care center. And most of the non-governmental organizations, popularly called NGOs, they had written to, were yet to respond to their request for support. But they couldn't continue to finance the running of the healthcare center with no support and good payment. And soon, after trying their best for about 4 to 6 months, these doctors or nurses will leave for a better place. They have families to support and take care of also, they would say as they leave. This has been the plight of the village for years. And when Nurse Ifunanya came, they had thought she would also leave after some time like her colleagues before her. But Nurse Ifunanya had stayed. Months turned into years and she was still with them, selflessly treating and taking care of them. Their love and admiration for her grew, and they started referring to her as a doctor. Dr. Ifunanya, our God-sent doctor, they would usually call her. Dr. Ifunanya is a co-owner of a non-governmental organization named Love and Care NGO. It was through this NGO she is able to help members of this village which she had come to stay. One of the many things she does for the villagers is helping young girls whose parents and family cannot take care of. She sends them abroad to school and to have a better life. Even married pregnant women shows intention of wanting to have their baby abroad after hearing of the tales of the previous married and pregnant women she had helped abroad for the sake of helping their babies get a better life. And so, with the consent of their husbands and family, Dr. Ifunanya also make arrangements for these pregnant women to go abroad. Amongst these many girls helped by Dr. Ifunanya was a young beautiful girl called Chikodi. Chikodi and her parents had shown interest in sending their daughter abroad also for a better life, and as usual, Dr. Ifunanya was glad to help. However, 3 years later, Chikodi showed up back in her village looking different. The once fat and chubby girl was looking extremely thin and sick. She looked like she had been sick for a long time. On the day she returned, she collapsed immediately as her mother held her. The family and the neighbors around were in panic. Why had she returned? And why was she looking like she is half dead? After putting so much effort to revive her, Chikodi gained consciousness and then told her story. Dr. Ifunanya was not the angel she made them believe she was. Her NGO that is owned by herself and her partner, who happens to be her husband, was a disguise to distract people from knowing what they really do. She doesn't take any of the girls abroad, but takes them to a very distant village and keep them in a secret area. What they really do is human trafficking and organ harvesting. They force women to sleep with men they pay, sell their babies, and harvest the organs of those who had been there for a very long time. The women and girls are forced to partake in some juju rituals that will kill them if they leave or tell anyone about what happens there, according to Dr. Ifunanya. Chikodi told her family and the villagers that she had had 4 babies while she was there. She said she had decided that enough is enough and she is ready to die if that is what it would take, as long as Dr. Ifunanya and her husband are exposed and more unsuspecting families and their daughters are safe. And that is why she had traveled weeks to find her way back home. But before Chikodi could describe the sites where these evil deeds of Dr. Ifunanya takes place, she died unfortunately. After the revelation, the old villagers of Chikodi's village and the neighboring villages were shocked, and then they marched to Dr. Ifunanya's house. They saw her, grabbed her out, and after much questioning, they set her house and her car on fire out of anger and as a result of her refusal to disclose the site where she kept the other girls. Because of the bonds sustained by Dr. Ifunanya, she also died. Months later, some of the girls who were still alive and strong found their way to their various villages. The moral of this story is a call on the government to wake up and not neglect small villages and communities. We can see that because the villages was neglected, an evil woman such as Dr. Ifunanya took advantage of them. People should also be careful whom they give their children to, and remember that not all that glitters is gold. What do you think of this story? Share your thoughts in the comment section. See you in our next video. Bye.